Alright guys, you see this title. We are back with a new to this channel, yet highly requested comedian. This one is Gabriel Iglesias, also known as Fluffy. And his skit, Dave the Bus Driver.
Okay.
I've definitely heard of Gabriel Iglesias, but I've never seen any of his work. But I do somehow still and yet kind of know that he is a pretty good comedian. Let's take a look.
A bus driver named Dave who has never received any credit, and he's been working for me for almost 10 years now. This man has successfully gotten me to every single comedy show on time without fail.
Okay.
Wow. Nice.
If I had to describe him to you, okay? Dave looks like the word America.
Okay.
Not America, America.
Right.
He's about 6 feet tall. He's white. He has a gray beard, and he wears a trucker hat.
Okay.
And he's got to be one of the most hardworking people I have ever met. Now, when I say hardworking, hey, I'm on the road 46 weeks out of the year, so I know. Difference is, I fly home every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Dave stays on that bus, and he gets it to the next city where we meet him. He works anniversaries, holidays, special moments. Christmas time, I was with my family. Dave was driving that bus on the East Coast. New Year's, I was with my family. Dave was on the East Coast driving that bus. One of the hardest working people I've ever met. I just want to give him a shout out.
Well, right off the bat, I really appreciate how he gave credit to someone that works for him, you know, but he doesn't really seem to see it that way. It also seems as though he takes just the thought of the fact that Dave, yeah, he's his bus driver, but he works with him, you know, and really helps him with his job, you know. He has to get to these shows and preferably on time. And together, you know, they really do make it happen. So that's nice that he gave him props, you know, which I feel like, even though I don't know him and I've only seen like a half second of him, of Gabriel Iglesias, it seems as though just off of him saying that, he's not cocky, you know, like he seems to be really nice.
In addition to being hardworking, he's very honest. Now, when I say honest, I don't mean, oh, he does his taxes right. I mean painfully honest, no filter honest. He talks the way people used to. He does not have time to mince words. He just calls it like he sees it. Before me, he used to work with a man by the name of Kenny G.
Okay. Who?
Grammy Award winner, amazing music. One day, Kenny G was on his tour bus that Dave was driving, and I guess the two of them had a little discussion, and Kenny G used some words that Dave would have rather him not have used, and instead of getting into it with him, this is what Dave does. Kicked Kenny G off of his own bus. Because he would rather lose his job than lose his self-respect. And that's the man I work with.
Nice.
He's a bad dude.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah.
You guys are clapping, but you should have seen the interview. Oh man, it was a good one. He looks at me and he says, "Hey, let's get one thing straight. I don't give a who you are. You treat me right, I'll treat you right.
All
you pay me
right.
on time, you'll live."
Okay.
You'll live.
Okay.
Not to mention the fact that he keeps that tour bus squeaky clean. And he takes a lot of pride in that as well. One night, I was drinking on the bus, and I go to put my cup down, and I missed the table, and the cup hit the floor. I didn't get up right away to get the cup, because I figured I'm gonna get up in a couple minutes and make myself another drink. I'll pick up the cup then. Dave sees the cup on the floor, and then he looks at me and says, "Hey, I ain't your mama. Pick that shit up."
Well,
I get to the
alrighty
back of the
then.
bus, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, I pay him." Hey, Dave, shut up. Yeah, I'll be in the back in my room. Thank you. Drive safe. And people tell me, "You work with a man who talks that way to you?" Why? Let me tell you why. Because he's honest. With Dave, you know exactly what you get. Nowadays, it is so hard for me to tell who's being genuine
Right. I
and
like
who has an
people like
agenda.
that.
And with
I
him,
like people like that, because when you are in the midst or in the company of someone who tells it like it is, who don't mince words, then you know exactly where you stand with that person at all times. You don't have to wonder, oh, I wonder if they're blowing smoke up my behind because of who I am, or because we're friends and they just don't know how to tell me and be honest with. No, you know exactly where you stand with that person at all times, and that is where I can get along with. I can't get along with that other stuff, because that's
that
just
fake stuff. It's
I
too
can't do it.
confusing, and frankly, it's tiring. It's nice that he's giving Dave the bus driver his props. It sounds like I like him too, you know, because at least he's even keel. Very much so. His mood doesn't even seem to determine how he speaks to you or how he acts towards you. It's
it doesn't
like
seem to change with the wind.
exactly.
hard for me to tell who's being genuine and who has an agenda. And with him, you know exactly where you stand.
I just said that.
If he likes you, he loves you. And if not, you're on the curb with Kenny G. That being said, I have a story to share.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
About a year and a half ago, maybe longer, we're on the bus and we're heading down the highway. Just so you have kind of an understanding of the bus layout, let's say this is the front. Here's Dave, the driver, empty seat, and then a sliding door that goes in between him and the rest of the tour
Oh, I like
bus.
that.
My buddy Alfred and I are in the living room portion, and we're watching TV. We're watching the news. And on the news, there's this person who is running for some type of office. No particular office. And I guess their big plan is to erect a structure between two bodies of land. Somewhere. And I guess they want one side of the structure to finance the entire project. Well, my buddy Alfred and I, we have a lot of family that works in construction, and we know a bad job when we see one. So we started to voice our opinion out loud about how we felt about this person and what they wanted to do. We're being very loud. So loud, Dave can hear us. And then we hear Dave.
Oh no.
America. I yell out to Dave. I said, "Be quiet, Dave. This isn't about you." He taps a button on the dashboard that activates the sliding door. And when the door's about that far from closing, he yells out, "I'm building a wall." I couldn't even get upset because I was too much in shock over the fact that that came out of someone 4 feet away from me. My buddy Alfred and I, we look like chickens. We're like, my cell phone goes off. I take out my phone and there's a text message from Dave.
Oh gosh.
And I said, "That's right, he better say I'm sorry. He better say just kidding." I open up the text message and it says, "And you're paying for it."
Dave!
And people tell me, "You still work with him after that?" Yes, I do. I trust that man with my life every single night. I know where his heart's at. He can say whatever he wants. At the end of the day, he still has to drive around the king of the Mexicans.
Dave. Well, we know where he stands politically. You know, but like you said, at least he's honest. Dave has a shocking sense of humor. Very dry, very raw, you know. But it's hilarious. But if you're the wrong one, you could get offended. You know, but I find it fun.
Yeah, me too.
Were they pulled over by the time he got the text or something? How do you drive this huge bus and send a text? Like, how are you?
He didn't sound like they were pulled over.
He
It
didn't
sounded
sound
he
like-
just received a text.
Wow. Maybe he used the voice feature on your text where you
Maybe.
can speak your
Yeah.
text and then
Yeah.
send it. Maybe that.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that. And Gabriel is very good at sound effects. Like
Yeah.
the voo voo, you
Yeah.
know, with his phone and the chicken noises and whatnot. I've never seen a comedian so far anyway that really uses sound effects as a part of their tactics, you know, the tricks in the tool belt, you know. So I like that. That's something that makes him different. Like, oh,
Yeah.
we're watching Fluffy today, okay. You know, he does this, let's take a look. Some are more theatrical and they kind of do a lot of body movements and whatnot, make a lot of faces, and some, like, especially Louis C.K. and sometimes Bill Burr will change their tone of voice completely and take on this whole other persona. Right? In like 0.2 seconds before reverting back to themselves as though it never happened. You know? So it's cool that Gabriel, at least in this skit anyway, Fluffy completely chucked that. So it was cool to see this. Definitely let us know if you would like any more Gabriel Iglesias content, and we shall see what we can do. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're down there, and we will see y'all in our next one. Bye, guys.